It's been a cold and snowy winter, and many of us are daydreaming about warmer climates. How about jetting off to Australia, perhaps? Well, one grassroots organization is trying to make that easier. Canzuk International is proposing free movement between Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. Essentially, that would mean you could go live and work in those countries without the need of a work permit. The idea is gaining support with more than 200,000 people signing a petition. John Bender is Canzuk International's chairman, and he joins me now from London. Hello, sir. How are you?
Yes, hello, good morning. Very well, thank you.
So free movement is only one part of this. Free trade and policy coordination are also part of the proposal. Can you break down what exactly Canzuk wants to change?
Okay, in a nutshell, Canzuk International advocates closer ties between Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom in general. And indeed, that's the origin of the name of the group. Canzuk is in fact a diplomatic acronym that refers to those countries and reflects a phenomenon seen at the United Nations whereby this bloc of countries often vote together. Now, we have prevailing strong links, certainly constitutionally. Canada's head of state is shared by 15 other countries. There are profound cultural links. There are historical links, common legal tradition. And we should also remember that Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK collaborate very closely in the realm of national security within the context of the Five Eyes Agreement, for example. Now, where there could be perhaps more cooperation is in the field of a multilateral free trade agreement. And that is something that we, as a group, are advocating. What would be implicit in that, of course, is facilitated migration between those different countries. We have a template, that is the Trans-Tasman Travel Agreement that prevails between Australia and New Zealand. It's been going since 1973, and it's highly successful. It doesn't provide for unfettered free movement. There are caveats. If an individual is deemed to be a threat to national security, there are safeguards to prevent that person from just moving from one country to the other. And I think that would be very sensible. But really, this idea is definitely a vote winner. We did a poll in January 2017, and 77% of the Canadian respondents were in favor of facilitating migration within the Canzuk area. In New Zealand, the figure was high as 81%, Australia 72%, and the UK 64%. Now, I've also spoken to Theresa May a few times on this matter, as well as Boris Johnson, and they are very keen on the idea. They are a little bit preoccupied at the moment with Brexit, of course, but certainly at the bilateral level between Canada and the UK, Australia and the UK, and New Zealand and the UK, there has been quite substantive contact.
John, I don't want to interrupt, but I do want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question because I can understand.
Please.
I think everybody would appreciate why this would be such a popular idea amongst sort of the people on the street. But I have to assume that on a government-to-government level, there would be real concerns, specifically as they relate to retirement and pension funds, perhaps insurance issues, health care, notably as well. So my guess is if you're going to be walking into negotiations or at least conversations with these governments, you must be aware of these concerns as well. How are you going to address those, what I think are very real concerns?
Well, yes, I think those concerns are less held by the man in the street, by the grassroots constituency. But yes, indeed, with certain political figures, there is a bit of caution. But I find that caution is somewhat assuaged when the possibility of bringing some parameters to opt out, as actually exists under the Trans-Tasman Agreement. As said, if an individual is deemed to be a threat to national security, that person can be excluded. Equally, rights to social security, for example, is really based on a minimum number of years of residence. I believe in Australia it's 4 years. So it wouldn't be out-and-out unfettered free movement. It would be facilitated migration.
All right, Mr. Bender, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.